Let's rock.
Whoa. I'll give it an honest 10 minutes. What's the worst that could happen? Holy shit. I know what I have to do now.
How may I help you?
I'm looking for one battle axe, please. Time to destroy the evil forces of capitalism! What's going on, guys? It's Trenton here, and welcome back to... Say, did you know I like music? I don't know if I made that obvious enough.
That hurt a lot more than you thought it would, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Music is a huge part of my life. Growing up with the metal scene, making my own music, or just using it to get through the everyday parts of my life, my passion for sweet grooves and melodies are ingrained in me as much as anyone in society. However, an odd side of me doesn't really gravitate towards video game soundtracks. Sure, the odd game like Yoshi's Island may grab my attention due to either nostalgia or pure unadulterated jams accompanying the soundtrack, but honestly, most of my favorite games I don't tend to connect with their soundtracks in any meaningful way. More often than not, it's either background noise, or I cover it up with my own music as I play. For me, there weren't many games that used music in such a powerful way that it was hard to ignore, that was so in tune with the gameplay and story that it was inescapable. Well, that was until... Do I need to gush about Doom? You all know Doom is good. Damn good. And if you haven't played it yet, you're sleeping under a rock. One of the many things that made Doom so special was composer Mick Gordon's brilliant incorporation of the soundtrack. The way he splices the soundtrack in such a way that it can easily go from the ominous, ambient synths to the bass-slapping, heart-pounding brutality that accompanies Doom's combat loop. It's genius. Plus, the OST itself is pure, demonic, degenty metal goodness. I mean, what other madman could have come up with having a pentagram making up the soundwave files just because he thought it was cool? Though the gameplay loop isn't built around the soundtrack most certainly was built to masterfully coexist and enhance the gameplay. Why bring this up? Well, the return of the best boomer shooter didn't just prove why Doom is one of the most important franchises in gaming, but also one of the most influential. Inspiring countless titles of yesteryear, its modern interpretations inspire games released today. Some are specifically interested in what Mick Gordon was doing, and in fact, wanting to not just build the soundtrack around the game, but building the game around the soundtrack. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the action rhythm game!
God damn it, fucking piece of shit. Fucking guitar.
Oh, hold on, sorry, wrong channel. The action rhythm game! The action rhythm genre is a relatively newer phenomena in the gaming world that I think should be tapped into a lot more. It can inspire a ton of unique ideas and fantastic games. To start off with the basics, we'll go over a couple that were inspired directly by Doom. Metal Hellsinger carries the same demon-killing gameplay loop from Doom with the unique twist of killing on the beat, 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 kill. The game has a bar to help keep you on time to the beat as you slay through the demonic hordes, where staying on beat not only awards you critical damage to your foes, but the progression of the beautiful symphony orchestrated for you. This game creates entire levels in mind with set pieces and enemy fodder to keep you on time as the score builds and builds from booming bass to screeching guitar to belting vocals. Seeing as it's so ingrained with metal, what would put it a step above its contemporaries to be more recognizable? How about adding some of the most iconic and legendary voices in the metal genre? This game invites several legends from Serj Tankian of System of a Down, Tatiana Schmeluk of Ginger, Randy Blythe of Lamb of God, and Will Ramos of Lorna Shore. Combine all these elements, excellent combat, gruesome world building, and level layouts, and you get a truly hellish experience. Take into account that PC supports modding with the help from the developers, and it takes it to the next level. There's just one problem. I suck at this goddamn game. I'm trying my best here. I feel like sometimes I'm on beat, I've got good rhythm, the combat is flowing, and I'm unstoppable. Other times... Shit.
Haven't heard that one.
God damn it. Even O.J. Simpson's better than me! Plus, the boss fights don't wow me, as it's the same boss fight over and over with a new gimmick until the final confrontation. Metal Hellsinger wasn't the first shooter game to toy around with this concept. No, there was another predecessor to it. But we have to get through this one pretty quickly here, because my hourly rate is bitches per minute and... See, I was wondering why I had no bitches. Bullets per minute is a chaotic roguelike FPS where you shoot, dodge, jump, reload, heal, and feel to the beat. You explore randomly generated dungeons using a variety of unique characters and collect powerful upgrades to create absolutely absurd combinations of weapons to punish enemies with, whether that be an explosive shotgun or an infinite firing rocket launcher. The soundtrack is booming, there are a ton of great enemy designs, variety, and awesome bosses to go up against. But it is punishingly difficult. I'm not debunking it, it's nice to see a game not shying away from its difficulty. Even on easy mode, it just makes it harder for some people to get to experience all the great things this game has to offer, like the incredibly unique bosses and enemy variety as the game progresses. But honestly, it makes beating the game all the more rewarding, and it's so easy for me to sink hours into it thinking that I'll just do only 1 or 2 short runs. That's okay, because this genre doesn't just focus on shooter games, even though they're the most prevalent type. There are a couple of unique titles that can explore what you can do with this interesting concept. Let's not rush through this one. Hi-Fi Rush is a phenomenon unlike most in the modern game sphere. A big budget AAA, unabashedly goofy, full of heart hack and slash, made by the same studio that made Evil Within. You know, these guys. Published by Microsoft too. This game came out in such a bizarre way, getting announced and releasing on the same day. This drew a lot of people's attention, including mine. Instead of just making a mental note to come back to it later like most showcase announcements, I checked it out day one, and oh boy, this game is special. It's filled to the brim with humor, a lovable cast, and a goofy main character, easy to pick up but difficult to master combat, and a world brimming with personality. This game's heart and soul is music, just like the main character Chai, who just wants to be a rock star, without knowing the first thing about it.
Future rockstar.
He joins a program to be infused with robot technology that goes awry and causes his MP3 player to be incorporated into his body. Of course, the robot project was evil, created by a greedy corporation to enslave more people to buy their products, and Chai is seen as a defect who must be eliminated. Thus begins the wacky adventure as you explore the enormous, colorful compound, take on hordes of robots, battle with the vicious capitalists, and recruit new friends along the way like Cinnamon, Macaron, Corsica, 808, and most importantly, Peppermint. I just got wet. For the Xbox 360! I won't delve too much deeper into the story, as I really think the game is worth your time to sink into, but the combat in this game is incredibly tight. Its hack and slash elements akin to Devil May Cry are entirely built around the punk tracks accompanying your journey, where attacking on the beat builds your combos, specialty meters, and adds extra damage. Specialty moves can be devastating when in time with the beat, and some enemies even require you to learn mastering it, as it's the only way to finish some of them. The enemy variety in this game is great too, as it's constantly throwing new enemies and switching up the dynamics of the battle all the way to the end of the game. To keep you on beat, the game has a bar like most others to keep you on track, but to add style points, the environment around you reacts to the music, with vents blasting air, manholes bouncing, or even Chai himself snapping along to the song when not in combat. You also have 808, the adorable boombox cat there to keep you in time with flashing LEDs. There's so much love put into every small detail of this game. I absolutely adore this title, and it's immediately become one of my favorites of this generation and the genre as a whole. Looking at the genre from the top down, it really allows a lot of styles of games to flourish in the medium. This genre is so cool, it really makes me want to dance. Oh no, not again! CRYPT the NECRODANCER is a roguelike, top-down dungeon crawler that calls back to the 16-bit retro era with gorgeous sprite work. Keeping in time with the 4/4 tempo, you attack, heal, move, and use items to the beat, and these actions only work if you're on beat. The timing is pretty generous, and makes the mundane slog of the first few levels of build-up a bit more charming as you battle low-level enemies to grind for better gear. In fact, it's this exact mechanic that allows the game to be a lot more challenging, having you think at lightning speeds in order to survive the enemies coming at you, and it only gets more daunting the lower the level you get. The game was successful enough to even earn a spin-off for Nintendo's seal of quality, Cadence of Hyrule, combining the brilliance of the gameplay the game was known for with Legend of Zelda's beautifully remixed classic songs and a new story to save Hyrule. Son of a bitch!
What's wrong?
No matter what I do, I just can't fucking get it right. Like, I know the beat, I know the timing, but every time I try, I just can't seem to get it. I don't understand what's wrong with me.
It's okay that your timing is bad. You just suck at these games, so go play something else.
But I want to be good at this. I want to play this. Am I out of tune? Or am I off key? Would you still watch me on YouTube even if I'm offbeat? Oh yes, these games are epic. These games leave me impressed, but my ability to press buttons leaves me depressed. I just don't get it.
Then you need singing lessons?
I don't get it. No matter how hard I try, these games are just too difficult for me. Am I the problem? Is it me? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just need to go back. Maybe if I can go back and try my hands on and even beat the first rhythm action game, maybe I could beat them all. I just know I can. And I have to go back. I have to prove I can be better. To be good at these games, I will be Parappa the Rapper. Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Okay, this seems bonkers because the genre feels like a relatively newer phenomena, but according to several sources, Parappa the Rapper is the first rhythm action game. It's also the first rhythm game, so I think it's a bit lenient with what they consider action and rhythm in that sense. Though it's a far cry from modern genre's interpretation of those words, it's here the genre first flourished. Let's give a small history real quick. Way back in the 90s, Sony created the PS1. A middle finger to Nintendo after being thrown out like yesterday's trash. Sony greenlit a lot of projects back in the day, and would throw anything at the wall until it stuck. I mean, hey, it worked. The system was the first to sell over 100 million units. One of the games spawned from this is Parappa the Rapper, one of the weirdest original games on the system. The game follows the titular character, Parappa, a paper-thin rapping dog, who goes on a quest to win over a crush. To prove himself as the better suitor, he goes on a series of minor adventures that leads to mistakes that only delays his journey. Going to a dojo to learn karate, taking a driving test, earning money to pay back his father, watching a cooking show, and performing for his crush on stage in front of the audience to prove his mettle. The gameplay is odd. Being one of the first true rhythm games, it has its quirks. You use the facepad to time words spoken to you that Parappa annoyingly sings back. There isn't really much to say beyond that. If you played any rhythm game, you've played most of them. What works most about the game is just how unabashedly weird it can be and just accepts it, filling the world with rapping dogs, onion dojo teachers, and flower girlfriends. Some of the songs can even be quite catchy.
Crack, 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 bowl, bowl.
M-I-X, the flower into the bowl.
M-I-X, flower into bowl.
I wish you would die.
I wish you would die.
You know, I may not be the best at these games, but I'm glad that they exist. The concept is so unique that it could be spun in many different ways and make so many different types of games. You don't have to just stick with shooters or action games, you could do anything with these types of games. It's such a unique concept, and I hope more games use the soundtrack in a more meaningful and less superficial way in the future, whether that be the Mick Gordon approach or by creating whole games around it. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go find us an evil corporation to smash. Where do we start? I got it!
Flesh we ate, that was the core of your innocent hate. Blood we took, flesh we ate, love through the pain, nothing but fear.
Sure, the odd game like Yoshi's Island may grab my attention for its soundtrack due to either pure nostalgia or just honestly pure unadult. No, too many pures. I had the perfect one and you threw me out there mid one. This is gonna be out of the thing. It's gonna be like, so I'm just gonna tell you the dance. I'm not gonna play any music. It's gonna be like do 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 do, and then I shoot.
It's not loaded. Okay. If you want, there are blanks.
Okay.
You want to do that?
I'll probably do like.
Okay.
I'm gonna practice that. Do 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 do.
Am I doing the dance too?
Yeah, you're doing it with me. Is that an issue?
Sure.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Okay, one more try. I gotta do it a little faster. There are a couple of unique titles that explore what you can do with this interesting. Oh my god. The concept is so unique for the genre that it can really spin it any different way to. The concept is so unique. Now that we got that out of the way. Do it. Alright, 2 takes here. 1 take is going ah, 1 take is going ah. I think a metal scream would be funny, but I want to see how it comes out on video. First take, metal scream. We'll see how that picks up. Second take, normal scream. Ah! Alright.